Here are some shots I've taken with my new $350 Nikon wildlife kit, mostly at the zoo, but also around a few city parks. In this video, I'll go over the pros and cons of this setup and wrap up with some tips for urban wildlife photography. Prices for older DSLRs keep dropping like a rock. This Nikon D7100, launched back in 2013 for about $1,200, is available today for $200. The AFP 70-300mm DXVR is available for another $150. Honestly, can you think of a better combo at this price? This kit is light and portable, around 2.6 pounds total, light enough to carry all day. We've got solid ergonomics, weather sealing on the camera, and it feels great in the hand. This camera is beginner friendly, yet very capable. Compared to Nikon's 3000 or 5000 series of DSLRs, the D7100 gives you 2 control dials, a huge usability upgrade. You won't feel the urge to upgrade the camera anytime soon, and even if you do, it makes a fantastic backup body, even if you go up to full frame. Classic EN EL15 batteries last forever, even in colder weather. And third-party ones can be found for dirt cheap. The autofocus. Okay, it's a bit dated, but that 51-point autofocus system still holds up today, especially the 15 cross-type points in the center. 6 frames per second is a decent start for wildlife, although we'll talk more about this later. Now for the lens. The Nikon 70-300 AFP has fast, quiet autofocus, thanks to its stepper motor. It's great for skittish animals. It's sharp, even wide open at 300mm. You get around 3 stops of vibration reduction, and on the DX sensor, 300mm gives you a 450mm equivalent full-frame field of view. That's plenty for zoo enclosures, birds on branches, or mid-distance wildlife. Let's talk about the downsides. Well, first of all, this camera has a tiny buffer. You only get 6 or 7 raw shots before it locks up. Sports and action is your thing. I would recommend the D70-200 instead. The D7500 is even better. High ISO. Now ISO 1600 is about the limit before noise starts getting ugly with the D7100. Early mornings, late evenings, and indoor enclosures in the zoo will push it pretty hard. Now modern denoise tools can help, but cleaner files straight out of the gate are always better. Now this lens is not weather sealed. A camera and lens combination is only as strong as its weakest link. Also, at 6.3 aperture on the long end, you'll need either more light or slower shutter speeds. You'll have to do some more work and some more pre-shot planning if you want those nice blurry backgrounds. And finally, it's a DSLR, so there's no magical orangutan butthole detection AI here. You'll have to do the work yourself. Now here are some tips for better wildlife photos with this setup. Use back button focus. This helps you lock and track subjects more reliably. I like to shoot in manual mode with auto ISO. So I keep the aperture wide open at 6.3 and I stop it down to 7.1 only if the light allows it for that tiny boost in sharpness. I set my shutter speed and I let the ISO fall where it is. You'll have to try and time the action, but it's still better to fire bursts. I like to fire short bursts to avoid clogging the buffer. Try to anticipate the action and then fire away. Always try to focus on the eyes. If there's no eye contact, I usually don't even bother shooting. I recommend going on cooler days when the animals are more active. You don't want to go when it's too hot. They'll be hiding in their enclosures the whole time. If it's a furry animal, try putting the sun behind the animal. That way you get that warm, glowing backlight. If you find a good subject, stay with it. Interesting moments sometimes take time to develop. Don't try to shoot the entire zoo in one day. Pick your best spots, your favorite animals, and just focus on those. Watch for fences, netting, and glass. You'll have to do a lot of work moving around to minimize them. Finally, if nothing's working, you'll have to just move on. I once waited on a camel for 10 minutes, and then it turned around and started urinating. I knew it was time to go. Here's a bonus tip. My lens didn't come with a hood, so you get that soccer mom look. But a cheap JJC aftermarket hood turns you into an instant pro. Look at that. This is essential for asserting dominance around other wildlife photographers. I've also successfully used this setup for casual city wildlife. urban birds can get surprisingly close. Here's a romantic springtime scene you didn't ask for. And look, if a shot really doesn't work out, just crop hard, crank the colors past decency, and boom, instant heavy metal album cover. Let's wrap up. The 7100 with the 70-300 is a solid budget combo for zoo trips and casual wildlife work. It's affordable, it's sharp, and just enough reach to get that shot, though it's limited by its buffer size, ISO, and lens speed. Is it the ultimate wildlife kit? No. But it's a great way to practice, learn, and get real results without breaking the bank. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and subscribe for more.